Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet, instead promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
Stories new at 6. Embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement in a post on her Facebook.
Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and Thornton Township supervisor, is now under intense scrutiny as her tumultuous leadership crumbles. Once a dominant force in Chicago's south suburbs, Henyard is now embroiled in scandals ranging from corruption and financial mismanagement to even personal eviction woes. Self-proclaimed as a super mayor, her grip on power is slipping amid mounting investigations, lawsuits, and growing public backlash. The burning question remains, how did things spiral so disastrously?
The election is not until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy surrounding.
Let's break it down. Tiffany Henyard stands accused of treating taxpayer funds like her own personal bank account. From hosting lavish events with high-profile musical acts to covering the town with banners and billboards featuring her image, her spending habits have long raised suspicions. A preliminary report commissioned by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to examine Dalton's finances uncovered a shocking reality. Under Henyard's leadership, the village's general fund plummeted from over $5 million to a deficit exceeding $3 million in just 2 years. Wondering how a small town could burn through so much money so quickly? The findings are as outrageous as they are alarming. Tens of thousands were spent on Amazon purchases, luxury trips, and other questionable expenditures, including a staggering $40,000 blown in a single day on Amazon in January 2023. Let that sink in.
Placo. Tiffany Henyard actually has 2 political jobs on 2 public payrolls, as mayor of South Suburban Dalton, or as she calls herself.
But the controversy doesn't stop in Dalton. As Thornton Township supervisor, a role that pays her over $200,000 annually, Henyard faces additional accusations of financial mismanagement. Trustees have frequently clashed with her over what they describe as a glaring lack of transparency. In a recent board meeting, trustees Christopher Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle refused to attend, citing concerns about safety and an unreviewed agenda. Without their presence, the board lacked a quorum, halting Henyard's attempt to establish a new township bank account, a move trustees believe could grant her unchecked control over township finances. Carlisle didn't mince words, describing the situation as chaotic and stressing the community's right to clarity and accountability. Just because something is happening doesn't mean it's progress, she remarked. Ouch.
Now to important business in Thornton Township, which hit a roadblock tonight, not because of the weather, not because of logistics, but because 2 trustees refused to show.
These boycotts are becoming a recurring theme as Henyard's grip on the Thornton Township Board continues to slip. The growing tension between her and the trustees has led to several recent meetings where she was the sole attendee, with trustees citing safety concerns or other reasons for their absence. When meetings do occur, they often spiral into heated arguments and allegations of corruption. Henyard has even accused her detractors of deliberate sabotage, a claim she frequently airs in lengthy Facebook Live sessions. In these videos, she lashes out at critics and paints herself as the target of a political conspiracy, casting herself as the victim in the escalating drama.
Dawn and Scott, the meeting wrapped up early because 2 trustees, as you mentioned, did not show up. Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. Without them, not enough board members were present to make official decisions.
Despite the growing backlash and dwindling support, Henyard isn't backing down. She's officially launched her campaign for re-election as Dalton's mayor, even as the FBI reportedly investigates her financial activities and issues subpoenas. Far from retreating, she's doubling down, presenting herself as a champion of the people. During a public meeting, she made a jaw-dropping declaration, comparing herself to legendary civil rights figures. I am the 21st century Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks. I am, she proclaimed. Yes, you heard that correctly. Those were her exact words.
You must show up to your scheduled board meetings. I don't care if you agree or disagree, but you must show up to say yes or no. or vote press.
While some might applaud Henyard's boldness, many residents and trustees have had enough. Her leadership has been labeled toxic and embarrassing, with one frustrated resident at a recent village meeting urging her to resign. Another went so far as to call her the most infamous mayor in America, a title that feels fitting given her knack for controversy. Adding to the turmoil is her eviction drama. Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, who earns a six-figure salary working for Thornton Township, are being sued by their landlord for failing to pay rent on their Dalton home. Despite a combined income nearing $400,000 annually, the couple allegedly hasn't paid rent since August. To make matters worse, they're accused of changing the locks and garage code, effectively barring the landlord from accessing the property. The landlord, a former friend of Henyard's, now deeply regrets renting to her. At some point, you have to understand that karma will catch up to you, she remarked.
In terms of stopping the meeting, we just want to get some responsible adult, communication and try to do the right thing by the citizen.
Henyard continues to cast herself as the victim in the ongoing controversies. During one of her notorious Facebook Live rants, she claimed her critics were part of a grand conspiracy against her. Why is it that when it comes to my life, no one hears my side? She questioned. All this pointing fingers at Tiffany. I'm over it. Now it's time for me to speak. She even went as far as threatening legal action against her political opponents, declaring, "I will be seeking arrests for individuals involved. I will be pressing charges." The irony of a mayor under eviction and multiple investigations vowing to arrest others wasn't lost on the public. One resident quipped that her threats were just an attempt to distract from the ongoing ridicule she faces. "She's just making noise about suing everyone so people stop mocking her," they said. With the elections for Dalton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor looming, the stakes for Henyard couldn't be higher. Losing either role would be a significant blow, not only to her public image, but to her finances. As one observer bluntly put it, "We all know someone like Tiffany Henyard isn't going to find another job where she can make this kind of money. For Henyard, this isn't just about holding on to power. It's about securing her livelihood."
Board do not show up. We are not able to pay bills. We are not able to handle the business.
Henyard's challengers aren't pulling any punches. Dalton trustee Jason House has stepped up to run against her, campaigning on promises of transparency and financial accountability. A consistent critic of Henyard's administration, House has accused her of creating unnecessary hurdles for small businesses, describing her leadership as a circus. Over in Thornton Township, Harvey Mayor Christopher Clark has launched his bid for supervisor, aiming to break Henyard's hold on the township. Both contests are shaping up to be intense showdowns, with Henyard's opponents rallying a community eager for change. Yet, despite the mounting opposition, Henyard's path to re-election is far from closed. For all her controversies, she still commands a loyal base of supporters who admire her resilience and view her as a fighter against the establishment. Moreover, if enough candidates enter the races and split the opposition vote, Henyard could once again pull off an upset. It's a prospect her critics fear, but one that remains firmly within the realm of possibility, given her knack for beating the odds.
Walking through Dalton. All right, we're in Brightwood now. We are in Godly now. We in Bloomington, baby.
Henyard's bold campaign strategy relies heavily on her ability to inspire unwavering loyalty among her supporters, a skill she's honed through persistence and dramatic showmanship. Her frequent Facebook live streams, often filled with impassioned speeches and accusations against her detractors, have become rallying points for her base. In one such broadcast, she even declared herself the Dream, drawing comparisons between her leadership and iconic historical figures. While her supporters applaud her determination, critics see these displays as a calculated attempt to shift focus away from her growing legal troubles. What leaves many puzzled is her continued ability to forge alliances despite her tarnished reputation. Insiders on the township board suggest that some vendors and political allies stick by her side in exchange for lucrative contracts or political favors. One particularly controversial example is her appointment of Deputy Police Chief Ronald Burge. Despite strong opposition from trustees, Henyard installed Burge, whose inactive certification status has sparked heated criticism. Opponents argue that this decision highlights her tendency to prioritize loyalty over competence. The move has not only fueled discord within the Dalton Police Department, but also raised serious legal concerns, potentially complicating her path to re-election.
Created a bill, which we're going to speak before the Revenue Committee, to give everybody $5,000 on their income tax.
Henyard's opponents are ramping up efforts to highlight the flaws in her leadership. Trustee Jason House has been especially outspoken, criticizing the financial chaos under her administration. He's cited examples like the village's inability to pay contractors or even afford basic office supplies. "We're a village in crisis," House stated during a recent meeting. "This isn't just about reckless spending. It's about the residents of Dalton deserving better. They need a government that works, not a spectacle." With public frustration nearing a breaking point, Henyard's rivals are banking on the upcoming elections to provide Dalton and Thornton Township with the fresh start they desperately need. Meanwhile, the FBI investigation continues to cast a shadow over Henyard's administration. While no charges have been filed, subpoenas and a growing list of allegations suggest investigators are closing in. Rumors are swirling that some of Henyard's former allies may be cooperating with authorities, potentially offering the evidence needed to build a case against her. If true, this could mark the end of her political career, and possibly her freedom. As one exasperated resident put it, "How is she not in handcuffs yet?"
Using public funds for something that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used for.
The focus now shifts to the upcoming elections and the ongoing investigations. Will Henyard manage to keep her positions, or will voters finally have had enough? If the FBI presses charges, how will that impact her chances at re-election? As her landlord wisely put it, just pay your rent. But for Henyard, the cost of holding on to power may turn out to be much steeper than she ever imagined. What do you think? Will she face accountability, or will she continue to defy the odds? Share your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for more updates on Starscope Daily.